welcome. So if you're a new insurance agent, you already know that getting your license, well, that's just step one. The real question is, what now? Where do you go from here? Today, we are going to break down a super clear 4-pillar framework for success, all based on the experience of industry pro Mercedes Pena. Think of this as your roadmap to building a business that actually lasts. Let's just jump right in, because this quote from Mercedes Pena hits the nail on the head. You can have all the good intentions and passion in the world, but if you don't have a structure for your business, it just leads to frustration. And honestly, that's the #1 reason so many talented new agents quit. They just burn out. And that's exactly the challenge we're talking about today. Mercedes Pena calls it El Reto del Agente Nuevo, the new agent's challenge. The whole point of this explainer is to give you that structure, to help you get over that hump. We want to save you months, maybe even years of that painful trial and error stuff by just laying out a path that works. So here it is. Here's our roadmap. We're going to walk through the 4 essential pillars that are the foundation of any successful insurance business. We've got leads, daily activity, community, and constant training. You can think of it like a table. If one of those legs is weak or missing, the whole thing is going to wobble. You need all 4 to be strong and stable. Okay, let's kick things off with the first and maybe the most critical pillar, leads. Or as she calls them, los leads. This is the fuel for your business. It's the engine. Without a steady stream of people to talk to, your business is just stuck in park. It's not going anywhere. So let's be super clear on what a lead even is. It's simply an opportunity to talk to someone about insurance. That's it. It's not a sale, it's not a guarantee, it's just an open door. So where do you find these open doors when you're just getting started? Well, you begin with what's called your warm market. We're talking friends, family, people you know, maybe even old clients from a past job. These are the people who already know you and trust you. This is your starting block, and it's a fantastic place to practice and really build up your confidence. But here's the thing, and this is so important. Your warm market has a limit. It will run out. And when it does, you've got a choice. You can let your business die on the vine, or you can start treating it like a real business, which means you have to invest in lead generation. And today, that pretty much means digital marketing. Now, when it comes to digital marketing, you've basically got 2 paths. There's the hard way, trying to learn it all yourself, and trust me, it's a huge, constantly changing world out there. Or there's the smart way. You delegate it. You find an agency and you let them handle all the tech stuff so you can focus on what you actually do best, which is talking to people and selling insurance. And look, this is a real investment. We're not talking about pocket change. Mercedes Pena talks about paying an agency up to $750 a month, and that's just to manage the ads. That doesn't even count the money you're spending on the ads themselves on platforms like Meta or TikTok. This is a serious business, and it requires a serious expense. And to really make this work, especially if you're doing telesales, you need volume, a high volume. We're not talking 10 or 20 leads a week. The benchmark for success, according to Pena, is a minimum of 100 leads every single week. If you try to operate with less than that, you're basically setting yourself up to fail. All right, so you've got the leads flowing in. What's next? Well, that brings us to pillar number 2, daily activity, or la actividad. You got to think of this like your success muscle. Getting the leads is step 1, but what you do with them day in and day out, that's what actually builds your business. And here's the mindset shift you have to make. Your license isn't just a piece of paper on the wall. It's a right and it's a duty that you have to work on every single day. If you only pick up the phone when you feel like it, you're going to get feel like it results. It's just inconsistent. And that's true whether this is your full-time career or a side hustle. So how do you stay consistent? You track it. You track everything. You have to know your numbers. How many hours did you actually put in? How many dials did you make? Out of those calls, how many appointments or citas agendadas did you book? And then, the bottom line, how many policies, pólizas vendidas, did you actually close? Each part of that process tells you something. And that's why tracking is so powerful. It's not about being hard on yourself, it's about being a detective. Your numbers tell a story. If you make 100 calls but you don't set a single appointment, maybe the problem's your script. If you're setting plenty of appointments but not closing any deals, maybe you need to work on your presentation. The data shows you exactly where you need to get better. Okay, this brings us to pillar number 3, community. la comunidad. And this one is so often overlooked, but man, it can be the difference between burning out and actually breaking through. This career can feel like a really lonely road, but it absolutely does not have to be. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Even animals are stronger in a pack. There's a reason for that. And it's the same in sales. When you try to handle all the ups and downs all by yourself, you're just more vulnerable. It's way easier to give up. I mean, just look at the difference here. The agent who goes it alone struggles to stay persistent. It's so easy to quit when things get tough. And you feel isolated, right? Because your friends and family, they mean well, but they just don't get the pressure. But an agent who's part of a community, they have people holding them accountable. They're surrounded by other people who are in the trenches and actually understand. This power of association comes from real, everyday support. We're talking about daily group calls to kickstart your morning, live Q&As where you can get answers right when you need them, and just constant chatter in group chats with people on the exact same mission as you. That shared energy is it's contagious. It keeps you in the game. And that brings us to our final pillar, number 4, constant training, el entrenamiento. So if leads are your fuel and daily activity is your engine, then training is the maintenance that keeps the whole machine running smoothly. This part is completely non-negotiable. And here's a hard truth. A lot of agents fail for a really simple reason. They don't truly understand the products they're selling. They can't really help their clients in a meaningful way because they haven't taken the time to master their own tools. This is why training all the time is so crucial. It keeps you sharp, you stay on top of what's happening in the market, you know what your competitors are doing, and most importantly, you become an absolute master of your product so you can genuinely serve people. That means showing up to conventions, jumping on national calls, and just never, ever thinking you know it all. So let's put it all together. This is tu camino al éxito, your path to success. We've just walked through the 4 pillars that give you a complete framework for building a successful insurance business right from the very beginning. Let's recap it real quick. Number 1, leads, a constant flow to fuel your business. 2, daily activity, consistently working that muscle. 3, community, surrounding yourself with accountability and support. And 4, constant training, always sharpening your axe. There's no secret sauce, there's no magic formula. It's just doing these 4 things over and over again. Look, you've already done one of the hardest parts. You got your license. You have the permission slip to go build something amazing. We've just laid out the roadmap for you. So the only question left is, are you ready to put in the work and make that license productive?